We kicked off a 2-week trip to Europe beginning with 36 hours in Munich. Terri did extensive research to put together our Munich bingo card of food, activities, and experiences.
We absolutely love this international and gracious city full of history, beauty, and really nice people. We could see ourselves living here one day for at least part of the year, assuming I could find some tennis courts. Subscribe to our channel for more Zeke and Terri adventures.
Today's gratuity goes out to Mark. Thank you very much. Mark's some sort of United Jedi Knight or something like that, and he waved a magic wand and got us to the top of the upgrade list. And so we are able to enjoy some lay flat for 13 hours on our way to Munich. So Mark, thanks, man.
That was by far probably the easiest international flight that I've done ever. It was 10 hours.
Very comfortable.
But I feel like they didn't even check to make sure we had our seatbelts on or our seats were upright, and then all of a sudden the plane was moving out of San Francisco. Yes, we were in the business class, which was really, really nice, so able to get some sleep. You had a great time showing us everything from the little travel pouch.
Got to protect the moneymaker.
Yeah, but it felt like, you know, we were given drinks and then food, and it felt like a super easy experience. And then coming in through the Munich airport, was hardly anybody in it, and the passport control was incredibly efficient, even though we went around and around and around. Ich lerne Deutsch mit Duolingo. We made it to Munich and to our hotel, which is just north of the center of Munich, and we're staying at the Ameron in Motorworld.
And there are cars all over the place that are an incredible history of the automation of vehicles.
In addition to like the Bugattis and the Ferraris, but no, this is really cool. And you might be wondering, like, are we car fanatics? Not really, but we were looking for something that was interesting and charming, not super expensive. We are a little bit outside of the main area. But when we got married back in 1996, we got married at the Baring Auto Museum in Blackhawk, and there was 100 years of Mercedes-Benz on the main floor. So this isn't that out of character for us. No. I do like things that move and things that go fast.
But the big task today is to stay awake until 9 o'clock or so tonight, and then we're going to have our first Ambien-induced sleep session.
To try to kick the jet lag very quickly. Did you get any sleep on the plane?
Very little.
I think I got at least 5 hours of sleep.
That's pretty good for you.
I never sleep on the plane. Yeah. Well, ibuprofen PM helped take care of that as well.
And I tried to get the pillow over your face as much as I could, but it didn't work. People were looking at me strange.
I'm glad they were. So we're gonna take the metro downtown, grab some lunch, maybe have a beer, start checking things off of our bingo list. Well, we have plenty of things to keep ourselves busy on our Munich bingo card. So shall we, allons-y? Whoops, wrong language. I don't know how to say let's go in German yet.
We're off.
Okay, I've been to a lot of places, I've seen a lot of churches, but coming out of the subway station and seeing this clock tower in front of us and then behind us this, it's like, holy shit.
I think we found what we're looking for.
The Marienplatz. So we need some food, you need some coffee, I need a beer. I think we've got pretzel, apple strudel on our list, and a beer garden. A beer garden.
Someone's gonna yell bingo by the afternoon.
There we go. the wrong church and thought it was St. Peter's and it wasn't. And we looked for a tower and they're like, you're in the wrong place. So we had some lunch and then we paid the €5 a piece to come to the top of St. Peter's Tower, which has a panoramic view of Munich. And I would say that between this and the new town hall tower, I would choose this.
This one's higher.
It's higher and
more open too.
It's more open.
Better views.
Yeah, because it's across the Marienplatz from basically the Glockenspiel, which is where you are at the top of with the other tower. So,
but you're talking to two people that are in a sleep-deprived, caffeinated now.
I don't think that my perception is tainted by that. I actually got good sleep on the plane. But
well, I was just talking to the giant lizard that was walking behind us, and we both agree it's questionable.
Okay, well, I might have to hold his hand going down the, 13 flights of stairs?
It's a few.
13 stories down to the bottom. There is no zip line.
No zip line.
And you're going to go first.
Okay.
So I think it's worth it. I wouldn't do both.
No need to do both.
No need to do both. So, okay, well, let's go find something else on the bingo card because we have checked this off the list.
Bingo.
No, we're going for blackout bingo. Sorry.
For a first day, trying to battle the jet lag, I think we picked strategically to have outdoor walking around activities.
I think I'd read someplace about his audio guides. A couple of people had recommended them, and while I had scoffed at anything Rick Steves, because it felt like that was an old people thing, I recently saw him do a 90-minute political thing on why it's important to travel. I've decided to be a Rick Steves supporter, and I've really enjoyed the walking tour. We're getting a good combination of history, perspective, going to some of the places that weren't even on my list. Yeah. Like the Asam Church wasn't on my list, and that was quite ornate.
Well, it's all easily digestible for first day, jet lag, stay active, nibble on some information, and keep moving.
I don't really like Bavarian beer, so I had a beer with lunch, and then we're having a beer with a really disappointing pretzel at Hofbrauhaus.
Yeah.
But the Okazda is going to be the next thing, which is a cheese-like thing, and my hopes aren't very high. Yeah, we'll do a hard pass on this one. went out. You got some more coffee. You got some apple strudel and apple plunder. Check another one off of our bingo card. The apple strudel is like apple pie. It's delicious. And that is like an apple turnover. It's also delicious.
Good morning, day 2 in Munich, Germany.
Yep, and it is a gorgeous, crisp fall day. It's going to be up to 68 degrees today as we head back down to the Marienplatz and go take a look at the Munich Residenz. 2 museums, both of them modern, 1 church, and hopefully the English Garden, where we're going to go see some surfers in the middle of Munich.
I got up and out, went and found a bakery with some coffee this morning at about 7:30. I really enjoyed watching this little portion of Munich come to life in the morning. Kids going to school, people going to work on their bikes, and there's still plenty of cars getting driven around. But a nice balance, a little neighborhood.
Because we're not in the center of Old Town. We are out in an industrial area.
Industrial as well as residential, just on the other side of the train spot that we jump on. And so it's fun. It's fun to see how little this portion of Germany comes to life. But as we heard yesterday, Munich is about 1.5 million people, so it's good size.
Yeah, it is. We walk right by BMW. There's
This van just pulled up right next to us.
like
here.
basically almost taking me out. Pro tip, if you're trying to stay awake and not succumb to jet lag in your hotel, you drop your bags off at a hotel that is 30 minutes from all the things that you want to go to, because then it forces you to walk and it forces you to stay away until absolutely the last minute. We're in Munich, Bavaria, land of BMW, etc. And what do I go looking at? An electric Cadillac. Crazy. I haven't even seen them in the United States. Yesterday we were clearly tired. It's going to be very interesting for us to review what we actually recorded when we go through and edit, and hope to be able to pull some sort of a storyline through, because I don't know about you yesterday, Zeke.
Expect present day us to be narrating yesterday us.
So we just went into the Kirche, the Theatine Church, and it was extraordinarily ornate.
Very well done.
How was your praying in the pew?
It was lovely.
Nice little nap?
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice and quiet in the morning. Not a lot of people in there.
Now we're going into the Munchen Residenz, or the Munich Residenz, and I think we'll be in there for a couple of hours. So are you ready for that?
Oh, let's see. I don't know.
But I promise you food afterwards.
And 42 minutes into the Munich Residenz self-guided tour.
It's the ultra marathon of museums.
And I just saw a sign for the long tour of the palace. But we can't figure out how to get out.
I didn't bring my shaving kit. I don't think I can make it.
I need a toothbrush.
mixer.
I chose poorly. Baked goods and fruit are not a great breakfast.
Unless it's
My
sugar-free.
Sugar just went through the roof, and then the moment we walked in here, I completely crashed. And at the same time, I was told that it's about a 3-hour tour. You need to really, really fuel up before you step into this place.
It's humongous and it's ostentatious and garish, and the thing that's just most frustrating is its reproduction. I mean, there's that brick church part of it that was rebuilt in 2003, but it just kept going and going and going. I think it's worth visiting. You just need to get some sustenance in advance and just be prepared to be in there. I don't think we were in there for more than 2 hours.
Okay. Oh, but what I did learn, every king after another king was only really there to build another wing onto this place. How many freaking anterooms? There was a third waiting room.
Just for the queen or the...
Yeah, it's pointless.
Anyway,
Pointless.
It's absolutely extraordinary.
I've got a good minimalist book term to read.
Well, the good news is that we're going to go grab some lunch, and then we're going to go to a modern museum.
We're going to grab some lunch, or we're going to find a hospital.
So we just walked through the Hofgarten, and I thought that it was going to be a ways to the Haus der Kunst, and I'm not even sure it was a 5-minute walk. And here we are. It's a modern and contemporary museum, and I cannot wait to check this out.
Very close, very cool.
And then the English Garden is right there. We've seen 2 people go by with surfboards. Now we have to go check to see where the surfing is in the middle of Munich. Wow, that was a lot.
2 very different exhibits.
Apparently they don't have a permanent collection, and so they just have temporary exhibitions. And one of them was with Rebecca Horn, and the other one was Pussy Riots in Moscow, which was a chronicle of several of the Pussy Riot members and their ongoing protests against Putin's regime. And A, it was a lot. B, it was down in the bunker that's underneath this building that was built by the Nazis to house arts.
I think we need to go walk in the park, and nothing to laugh about. But it's art, and it's sending a message.
Well, it's art, and it was documentary. It was basically a visual documentary over the course of, it feels like over a decade.
Yeah.
And then the big art by Rebecca Horn, that was interesting in terms of the mechanics, the body, the line between mechanics and movement and the human body, but huge installations, and was a lot after the Pussy Riot thing.
Yeah, it was definitely more subdued, but it worked well in the big room.
Oh, extraordinary. I mean, this is an amazing piece of architecture. Let's go find some surfers so we can hang loose. Okay, so after the intensity of the Haus der Kunst, we thought we were going to have to walk 35 minutes to be able to see the surfers in the English Garden. And I must have put the wrong thing into the map because we basically did a complete...
This building right here is the Kunst, and that's Pussy Riot. We were standing right on that thing right there. And we're going to spin around here, and literally behind that is the surfing. And at one point in time, we had a half an hour hike to be able to get to the surfing.
And Zeke kept saying, I said 35 minutes. He's like, a half an hour? And I said, that's what it says. So then we go out and then we start to see that the river that's running through it, I'm like, it's got to be close. We saw people in wetsuits. We saw people with the surfboards. And then we did a big loop and kind of came back to the beginning. And what's so cool about it is that it's 50% women, 50% men, or 50% girls and 50% guys. Totally egalitarian, going one after the other on alternating on either side.
A perpetual wave.
Was amazing. I'm curious to know for our surfer friends out there if surfing on something like this would be comparable to surfing on a wave in the ocean. I'm curious as to if any of these folks have ever surfed in an ocean or if they've only ever surfed here. I mean, regardless, it's incredibly cool, but I don't surf.
I haven't done either.
So I wouldn't be able to assess it. But we have about an hour and a half until the next museum closes, and then I think we're gonna head back to the hotel and call it a night. I have some writing to do, and I still need to cleanse from my brain the intensity of the Kunst. How about you?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, here we go. We had a lovely but slightly exhausting time in the Pinakothek der Moderne. Modern, it's 20th and 21st century art. I thought we were going to find a Louise Bourgeois. Louise Bourgeois did The Spider in the National Gallery of Art.
Right. Or an Alexander Calder. Didn't see one of those either.
We did. We saw them in the gift shop. Absolutely. A bunch of Pablo Picassos. There was actually a Matisse sculpture. I didn't know Matisse even did sculptures. Very few women artists, which was a little disappointing, but gorgeous building.
Yes, architecture of the building was very cool. The layout of the art was pretty good.
Well, going downstairs, there was this huge, bookshelf, but it was 4 stories high, and things were huge. Oh, so cool! But I think we're in an area that has multiple museums, and it is hopping. There are a bunch of kids out here drinking some beer, having some snacks. There's a UFO up there. We're not quite sure what that's all about. There are chairs that are underneath it. I guess you can hang out in the shade. So, but we are done and dusted, and I think this is it for us for Munich. Do you have anything left in your tank?
I do need dinner at some point in time tonight, but we'll see what that turns into.
And we have one more public transportation experience. And then in the morning, we will wrap up our time here and jump on a train and go to Vienna, where our youngest is hanging out with a friend. So we haven't seen our youngest since the middle of August, and I'm looking forward to giving them a big hug and a squeeze, even though they're going to be slightly annoying.
All right.
Here we go.
I think you're supposed to peel the skin off, right?
Sweet mustard.
Yeah. Life learnings. Coffee consumption needs to be closer to food consumption.
Yeah, I think my hands are... we need to figure out the whole breakfast thing a little bit more. Instead of writing at night, I'm writing in the morning, the postcards from the road and the mini blogs on Instagram. And that takes a fair bit of time. And I don't want to go out in sweats, and I don't want to get up and take a shower. So it's like a whole thing. But
and typically I'm up 6:30, 7 o'clock and eating breakfast by 7:30. 54, I'm a man of routines.
Oh, God.
Physical ones that are now manifesting. And
well, and with that, we're saying auf Wiedersehen to Munich. It's a little bit drizzly outside. We're going to catch a Bolt, which is the Estonian version of Uber that I prefer to use when we are in Europe. And we're going to go to the train station, catch a train to Vienna. And we are messaging back and forth with our youngest, trying to find a way to get together. We have about 4 hours on the train to catch up on stuff. Hopefully we're seated across from each other.
Munich has been a big little town. We found it very accessible and easy to walk around downtown. Everything's fairly close to each other.
And really livable. This is a place that we can see ourselves living for a couple months at a time if need be. Lots of culture, good public transportation, good food, super nice people, very much an international feel. Parks, apparently it's in close proximity to mountains for skiing and hiking. I'm sure there are tennis courts around here someplace.
I hear a phone ringing.
And with that, we gotta go because our youngest is calling, and auf Wiedersehen.